continuing to master the new hollowing rig. Today's blank is a completely asymmetrical acacia burl. To preserve most of the burl, I had to offset the center significantly, which later resulted in a constant imbalance during turning. I tried to shift the center in such a way that the wood placement would yield the maximum amount of voids in the final piece. There was a streak of solid rot running right through the pith. Since there was no way around it, I decided to try and use it to my advantage. As the turning progressed, I realized that the best form for the final result would be a tapered base with a maximum flare top. Once I mount the base into the chuck, sanding the blank won't be nearly as convenient as it is right now. That's why I decided to sand everything through the grits from 80 to 180 ahead of time. I'm clearing away all the excess material from the top and making the upper face flat enough. The rot in the piece is really starting to show now. Next, I'll sand the top up to 180 grit and drill a center hole to make the hollowing process much easier. I start by hogging out most of the waste wood without using the camera. It's pretty easy to tell visually when it's time to hook up the monitor to achieve a more precise, thin wall. Once I get down to a wall thickness of about an inch, I switch the camera on and start gradually taking away the excess material. Since there are so many voids in this piece, I'm not going thinner than 1 centimeter. I think that'll be enough to showcase the burl in all its glory. Now you can clearly see how I'm gradually taking away the excess wood and working my way deeper inside until I reach the desired thickness. It's common practice to work smoothly from top to bottom. However, in this specific case, it was more convenient for me to work from the bottom up, leaving the vessel's shoulders for the very end. Once I get to the point where the voids start opening up, I have to work much slower and with extra care, gradually bringing the wall thickness down to 1 centimeter. It's also worth noting that as I move along the vessel, I have to adjust the cutter's angle of attack from time to time. This means I need to stop and redraw the new contours of the cutter on the screen to avoid accidentally blowing through the wall. Finally, the critical moment has come to clear out the excess wood from the vessel's shoulders and top. Once this phase is successfully completed, I make one last slow pass over the entire vessel with a razor-sharp cutter. Now that the hollowing is complete, all that's left is to clean up the torn grain, rot, and remaining bark using a Dremel. Finally, I'm coating everything with linseed oil. I'm really happy with the result. The hollowing rig continues to do its job beautifully, and my skills with it are definitely improving.